McCarthy Insurance Group, serving the community for over 70 years. For home, farm, motor, life, health and business insurance, log on to mig.ie or free phone 1800 50 11 11. Probably your best call in 2024. Charles McCarthy Insurance is trading as McCarthy Insurance Group, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The multi-award-winning Niall Boylan Show.
Let me get on to sex. Not because I particularly like it. I mean, talking about it. But I think it's an important thing to talk about because Robbie Williams has made it an important thing to talk about. And I spotted the article in The Sun this week that really, it kind of caught my eye. Now, apparently Robbie Williams, who's 49 years of age now at this stage, 50, he's only a young man, has admitted that him and his ex-wife, his current wife of 13 years, Ada Field, who's 43, still a young woman, rarely have sex and instead love to cuddle and watch Netflix. Well, I'd like to think everybody cuddles and watches Netflix or telly anyway. Robbie revealed that his sex drive plummeted ever since he stopped taking testosterone to treat his depression. And because of that, himself and Ada rarely engage in any sexual activity. He had to stop taking it because he'd become addicted to it. Now, let's just briefly talk about testosterone in case you're confused by that. He was quite young to be taking testosterone. As men get older, their testosterone levels drop. It happens to women during the menopause as well. Now, women have a lot less testosterone than men. They have about 10%. But women will take HRT, which contains estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And testosterone basically is for your energy levels. It's for your consciousness as well. I mean, for example, your ability to focus and concentrate, your tiredness. You know, if you're feeling very tired all the time, you could be low in testosterone. And it normally happens to a man over the age of 40. The testosterone levels and your ability to produce testosterone starts to reduce over time. And we don't talk about that enough. We did on the show. We had an expert on talking about it about 6-7 weeks ago, where we encourage men to go to the doctor, ask for a full blood test and tell them to check your testosterone levels if you're feeling tired, a lack of energy, a lack of libido, which is the main thing. Testosterone controls the libido. As much as you might be able to get an erection, you may not want to get one. You may not be in the mood for it all the time. And that's why women tend to lose their libido during menopause, because they lose their testosterone. Well, Robbie Williams obviously lost it earlier in his life, and he was suffering from depression, and testosterone can help depression as well, because it gives you energy and the ability to concentrate. Anyway, he goes on to say, he also said, everyone knows there's no sex after marriage. I've never heard, well, I've heard that, but I don't believe it. I think it's a bad marriage then. Anyway, it's only a problem if you're on different pages. I'll agree with that. If one person wants it and the other doesn't, or you have different expectations or requirements, then there's a problem. When he said this, his wife chipped in and said, intimacy is the important, meaningful side of love. We're happy. Now, I don't know whether she's as happy as Robbie Williams about this arrangement of not having sex. But she's certainly pretending to be, and she's doing a good job of pretending. And Robbie is quite wealthy too. I'm not suggesting she's with him for the money, but he is quite wealthy. And they obviously have a nice lifestyle apart from the sex. Now, I mean, clearly both people, he said, in this case agree. So that's one thing. But what I want to know in general is, does being in a marriage mean goodbye to sex? I mean, does the sex completely disappear? Let's have an open conversation about this tonight. It is after 9 o'clock. I mean, people always say the best contraceptive in the world is a wedding ring. Did you ever hear that saying? It's the best contraception in the world, a wedding ring. I don't believe it, and it shouldn't be like that. And if that is the case, well, then you've got a problem, haven't you? But if you both agree, as Robbie Williams says, that sex is not important and you're not interested in it, well, then that's fine. But that's never the case, or rarely the case. Because more often the case is, and I'm sorry, ladies, to be a little bit sexist here, it's women that lose their libido more than men. And that's, of course, again, due to menopause and due to the fact that women can't really afford to lose much testosterone because they don't carry much of it anyway. So as soon as it starts to drop, they lose the libido. Then what happens, the majority of people that separate or divorce, from a man's point of view, is because of sex. So men are not getting it at home. The wife's not into it. She's strictly missionary and doing it for Ireland every now and again just to keep them happy. He's just getting his jollies off every month, maybe once a month or Christmas and his birthdays. Did you ever hear that? Oh, Grace, my birthday's tonight. Whoa! She'll be in the mood. She's not in the mood. She's only doing it because it's your birthday. Now, you understand what I'm saying? If you're in that kind of marriage, well, then there's a problem. If she's not enjoying it and she's not into it and you're mad into it and it's not happening, well, then what most likely will happen in a lot of cases is men will go further afield looking for it because men are human beings. We're animals. Women are animals. We're all animals. We have basic instincts. And for many people, part of that instinct is sex or intimacy, which is wonderful if you're in love, quite boring if you're not in love. So what I'm saying to you is, if two people agree that it's not important, that's fine. But that's not the case in 90% of cases. In 90% of cases, one person wants it, the other person doesn't, and it becomes a problem. So I'm asking you, do you think marriage means no more sex, or certainly a lack of? The number's 087 188 0008. That's 087 188 0008. Does marriage mean no more sex? Joanna, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Joanna?
Hi, Niall. How are you?
Good, Joanna.
No, I don't think marriage should mean no more sex. But I mean, life wears you down. When you first meet someone, you're in the throes of love and passion.
Lust, Joanna, lust.
Lust, absolutely. Like,
yeah, you're ripping the clothes off each other.
Even when the snot's flying in his face, you look at him and go, oh, God, isn't he gorgeous? And then 6 months later, the toothpaste, is like, oh, God, yeah, please clean that up. Like, you look like a disgusting pig. So what looked lovely once, all of a sudden looks disgusting. But, yeah, no, I think intimacy is very important. And I don't always mean sexually. I mean, especially if you've had a baby and all that, I think intimacy isn't always about sex. I think it's about just being close to each other, holding hands, sitting beside each other, and maybe one's cooking the dinner and you just come up behind her or him and just say, that's looking good, love, and give them a little peck in the cheek and say, that's gorgeous, love. A little slap on the bum the old time.
Oh, that's illegal now. You can't do that, Joanna. You're not allowed to slap women on the bums anymore. It's illegal.
Well, you are. No, you are. I know.
Unless you consent.
Your wife or your. Yeah, I know. It's going to get to stupid nanny.
No, I'm only joking. If it's your wife and you're both in a relationship and you both agree to it and you both believe it's okay, well, then it's perfectly fine, I'm sure.
But if it's come to a stage where you're both banjacks and you're just not able to, I think it's okay if you just climb into bed with each other and spoon each other and cuddle each other.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. I think
affection is more important.
Yeah, I think what happens is when people get married, then they have children. And, children can get in the way of a sexual relationship sometimes because you're exhausted.
And you know what the thing I would say, though, is, like, if you're so mad about having sex all the time, and then all of a sudden the kids came along and there's nothing there, well, then I'd be like, well, what the hell? I mean, if you can't even sit beside me and hold my hand. Like, my husband said, now he's very shy. Well, he knows, like, we have a good, decent sex life and all that. But what I'm saying to you is, so, like, things slow down when you have kids and you have a house to run. But, when you get into bed at night, if you can't sit there beside somebody and just hold their hand watching a TV, what film will we watch tonight? We watch this, we watch that, we scout her. Oh, yeah, and then you sit down and you hold hands. That means more to me than anything.
It is lovely, isn't it?
Just
or you sit there rubbing your wife's foot or something like that. Rubbing her feet.
Just holding hands.
Yeah.
And even if you're in bed, just holding hands. And then when you get into bed at night, it doesn't always have to be about sex. You just, you turn over and the other one naturally turns over and puts their arm around you.
What's the average? Okay. So when you're married, let's say 10 years, I don't know, what's the average amount of times? Because people give me a different answer all the time to this question.
But can I just say something as well?
I'm talking about physical intercourse. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's lust in the first instance. And sex and all that, yeah, it does happen, but when it happens, then it should happen where you really mean it. Do you know what I
And
mean?
how often
I'm an all-romantic me.
but is there a time we had a guy he was an expert, inverted commas, on the air going back about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he said if you're not in a marriage, if you're not having sex, meaning intercourse, at least once a week, he said you have a problem in the marriage.
But that's crap. I think that's crap because I tell you, I'm banjaxed most of the time, and all I want to do, I'm banjaxed, and so is he, and all I want him to do is just put a film on there, man. Put a film on there in the telly. I have a big telly in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Put a film on there. Wrap your arms around me, love, and I just lie until I fall asleep. And you're
banjaxed.
I'm banjaxed, and so is he. And maybe the next day, the weekend when we know nothing to do, maybe, whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, it mightn't even happen.
Or Christmas and his birthday.
Here, if you have to plan it, forget about it.
No, you can't. No, you can't be planning it.
No, of course you can't.
No. Hang on. Stay there for a second. Let me go to Helena as well. Helena, you're in Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
How you doing? Helena, now, according to Robbie Williams, it's not important because him and his missus, which surprises me that he even admitted this, are not having sex anymore.
Probably for publicity, actually.
To him, like.
Yeah, you would imagine Robbie Williams would be the last person that would admit something like this, but however. He said it's not important. Yeah. Do you think it's important?
Yes, I do. And to be quite honest, I think it is very important. And if I'm not getting it at least twice a day, there's something wrong.
Twice a day?
And yeah, at least.
Okay.
And also, I don't. I'm sorry, I didn't get your caller's name there earlier.
Joanna says she's banjaxed.
Joanna, apologies, Joanna. No, and there is intimacy there, and it has to be done. And
but there is intimacy there, though. Do you know what I mean?
Would you? But Joanna, like Helena, would you be able for her twice a day? She says twice a day is minimum for her.
Are you joking? I'm not able to. Some days I'm not able to get to dinner together. I do be banjaxed. I do be like, I fall into bed and I just like, oh, come on, love, just give the hook there. Put the telly on.
But he could have a quickie while you're making the dinner over the kitchen table or something. I don't know.
Throwing over the breakfast.
So, by the way, Helena, are you married or are you just a partner or are you going out with somebody? Or what? Are you
a partner.
Okay,
yeah,
and how long are you together?
3 years.
Okay, so you're both on the same page with this need for sex.
Well, actually, no. He's older than me.
Okay.
And there has to be a little bit of encouragement there.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
like, no.
That's okay. That's okay, yeah.
That's what I need, and that's what I will get.
Okay.
And
no messing with you, I tell you.
No. And as I said, when I text in to your producer there, and I was like, I love my kisses, my cuddles in the morning, but kisses and cuddles don't fucking do it.
No, yeah. You need a bit more than a kiss and a cuddle.
Yeah.
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 And rightly fucking so.
Watch the language, Helena. You get me in trouble.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
And Joanna, I don't mean to disregard what you say there. Like when there's kids involved, but like
and I have a little boy, especially that he has special needs, and it takes a bit of energy to kind of bring him up to bed and all that stuff. And by the time I get up to bed after a whole day of cooking dinners and everything, clean the house, I'm banjaxed, and he just be tired too, and it's like on a day, say like a bank holiday now here.
So, say one at a time. Sorry, Helena, you get the point she's making, and I understand a lot of women, particularly, would say that they're just looking after kids, rearing kids. It can be tiring.
But men can say the same thing.
Well, I suppose they could, when they're out doing a hard day's work. I know we're being very stereotypical here. Women could be out doing a hard day's work too,
Yeah.
So, in other words, you're saying you have to find time.
Yes, if you're already upstairs and putting the kid to bed, and I don't mean to say the kid, Joanna, I don't know your kid's name. I don't mean to say it like that.
Yeah.
But if you're already upstairs, go on and go for it.
Into the bedroom and give him a quick text and say, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah. I'm already here. How are you?
I'm warming up. Right. So, in relation to what Robbie Williams says, now you Helena, will be on the other end of the scale, right? They say, as I said, this expert said, basically, if you're in a marriage for 10 or 20 years and you're only having sex once a week, you need to look at your marriage, because that's the minimum he believes people should be having sex on average, is once a week, right?
Well, I wouldn't be putting up with that, no.
No, you wouldn't be putting up with that.
No.
So if your partner turned around tomorrow and said, not that he wasn't able for it, let's say he just says, I'm not into it. Stop, Helena, will you go off and play with yourself?
Did he have a headache, Niall?
Or I have a headache, yeah. I have a headache. Or I'm too tired. Or he just couldn't do it. Not that he couldn't do it, because then you would have a more understanding. But he doesn't want to do it. He's just not into it anymore. He just felt it's not important in your life. Would you leave him?
Potentially, yeah. I think so. Yeah.
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 So it's important. It's important to you.
I think it's important. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important. If
loads of texts coming in want to know your phone number, by the way. Can I just point out? Yeah, they want people texting in want to know, can we pass out Helena's phone number in case she's stuck sometime? Yeah. I'm looking at some of the comments, by the way, coming in.
Can they ring me back tomorrow?
I'm looking at some of the comments coming in. Yeah, but people are saying Robbie Williams is a clown. Somebody else says nobody cares. Patrick Gibbons says, dear God, what a depressing thought. In other words, not having sex. Joe Crypto says on Twitter, she's obviously getting it from another guy. Because he's saying his wife is happy about it as well. Yeah. Now, do you think she is? Or do you think she's getting it somewhere else, maybe? I mean, I don't know.
Well, maybe she is just content with her kisses and cuddles. And I love me kisses and cuddles in the mornings. The first thing we do in the morning when we turn over and kiss and cuddle, whatever. But the sex has to be there. I mean, it does. We have needs. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think, Helena, you're addicted to it?
Huh?
Do you think you're addicted to it?
To sex or to him?
Well, to sex.
Well, no, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be getting withdrawal symptoms if you didn't get it, like.
Yes.
Okay, and just in relation to your age, and I know you were never supposed to ask a lady your age, right? Never, because, even on telly, didn't Ryan Tubridy get into fierce trouble for it? I personally don't care, because I'm not Ryan Tubridy and I don't buy into political correctness. But I don't know what age you are, but there's a point in
40.
your life. What age? Sorry?
40.
Okay, thanks for telling me. I wasn't going to ask you, but there you go, 40. Okay, so.
Well, you did ask twice.
Well, I kind of did. In the next 10 years, right? Within the next 10 years, unless you manage to escape it, you'll head into menopause, okay?
Yeah.
And most likely, in a lot of cases, not all, the libido drops. The testosterone levels drop down. You might not be into it anymore. What are you going to do then? And he's still looking for it twice a day.
But it's me that's looking for twice a day, not him.
I know. But what happens if he's still looking for it and you're just not interested at all because menopause has kicked in?
Look, just because menopause, that's no excuse.
No excuse.
Just stupid.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we've got the little blue tablets for men. Why should it be an excuse for women?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, women can get HRT as well, which helps in those situations.
Yes, they can. They can.
Yeah.
And also, if we dry up, there's lubricant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to get too intense and into it, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can buy to help things along the way, and to also make the. But here's a question that somebody's come in: can you ask Helena how she keeps it exciting? Because I would love to do what she's doing, but I would find it would get very boring very quickly. So Helena, and I don't want to ask you any personal questions that you don't want to answer. So if you feel the need not to answer any questions that I ask you,
No, of course.
you just say mind your own business now. So I'm assuming it's not just straightforward missionary twice a day.
Oh, God, no.
No, you're flinging each other around the bedroom, I assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And do you, involve yourself in other types of fetishes and fantasies?
No, actually, we don't.
Right,
To be
okay.
honest,
You're
no,
pretty,
I
you're pretty
have-
straightforward.
Yeah.
Toys. Toys, maybe.
I have forced a subject with him about can I go into a swingers club or whatever, but he's not into that.
Not into what? Sorry, you kind of rumbled over that there. I missed what you said. You've approached the subject to him about bondage.
I did ask him, about going to a swingers club.
Oh, a swingers
but
club.
he's not into that.
Right,
So
I can understand. Yeah, why you
that's
might
fine.
not be into.
And I respect his decision.
And would
That's
you like
grand.
to have gone to a swingers club?
Well, I have done, but
Right. In the past.
he's not into that. So I'm with him now, and that's it.
Right.
But it's not always missionary. I mean, like, we do fool around, and we do get kinky every once in a while.
Right, but you're not into bondage and whipping each other and hanging each other out of ceilings and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not off the ceiling, like, but he will beat me with the belt, like, you know.
Yeah, okay. So you see, okay, so you'll experiment a little bit. Yeah.
Yes,
To make
but
it
not
exciting.
every
So,
time.
but isn't that the key to it? That you have to make it exciting and you have to make it different and you have to try different things. And look,
But
you'll
you know
try
what,
something that might not work
sometimes-
and you won't do it again.
Yeah, but sometimes it's the most passionate and intimate that is the best.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The unexpected one. Yeah. So stay there, Samaria.
Hello.
Hi, Samaria. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. Samaria, Robbie Williams more or less telling us that sex is not important in a marriage as long as you're both happy with that idea.
I think that it's very important in a relationship and marriage.
I would agree.
Very important. I think it's a physical connection, but it's also an emotional.
Yeah. I think it's more emotional probably for women. I think it's emotional for men too, for some men. But I think for a lot of women, it's probably more emotional. For a lot of men, it's physical. They say men are more visual when it comes to sex.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, women could be quite happy having sex with the lights off. Men like the lights off. They like to see what they're doing.
Yeah, that is very true. Saying that though, I quite like the lights on too.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, yeah.
I do.
Yeah, because for men, that could be the visual aspect of sex can be quite arousing for men, you know.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It'd make me paranoid if like I wasn't having sex in my relationship.
You think there was some, does he not love me anymore kind of thing?
Yeah, like I'd be very like, look, come here, listen, God's honest truth. If we go a week without it, I'm going, what's wrong? Do you love me?
Yeah, and I read an article there
Or do you
recently.
not fancy me anymore?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And you know what, ladies, it's interesting to hear you two say that because that's more of a men's attitude. And I read a thing by some professor there recently that men equate sex and love, whereas women tend to separate them, right? Whereas men believe if their wife doesn't want sex with them, they don't love them or they feel rejected. Because there's a double standard, isn't there, generally in marriages in Ireland in particular, I think, whereby a woman can turn around. The two are in bed. It's 12 o'clock at night. The guy turns around and gets a little bit frisky. And she goes, oh, no, I'm knackered. I'm tired. I have a headache, whatever, right? And all of a sudden, he feels a little bit rejected. But that's okay. Now, if she did that to him and he went, no, would you get away from me? I'm feeling a bit tired now. A hard day's work there. Go on off now and play with yourself. All of a sudden, that's okay. Seemingly, we're supposed to just accept that that's okay because it's all right for the woman not to want it. So there is a kind of double standard, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Like, I think there's a double standard with everything, really, if you think about it. Like, because, like, say if a man, just for argument's sake, goes off and cheats or something, the first thing that, like, the boys would say is, oh, he mustn't be getting it at home. Do you know? There's always seems to be, like, they always seem to have reason for why a man would want to do it, and it always tends to come back to what the woman isn't doing.
See, but again, this goes back to the research. The research says the majority of men do cheat because of not getting it at home, or not getting as much as they want, probably, or not getting the type of sex they want at home. Whereas with women, they tend to cheat for more emotional reasons, like attention. And that's just according to the research. It doesn't mean everybody. I'm just saying that's just the way it happens to be. You know what I mean?
I think, like, you have to, like, as well inside in the bedroom, you have to kind of spice it up. You can't kind of be, like, all missionary all the time.
Yeah. And
You know,
is that's the important thing, isn't it? Keeping it fresh, keeping it interesting, keeping it exciting.
It's all about communication. You have to talk about it, and you have to talk about, and, like, even, like, look up all these, like, these new things and be like, oh, okay, maybe we should try this, you know?
Yeah, and sure, look, try it, and if you don't like it, you just don't do it again.
Exactly. Like, no one's asking them to sit down and watch a bit of porn, like, but, you know, just
Yeah, I mean, this is what I don't understand with people, right? You know, whether you believe in a God or you believe we naturally evolved, it's irrelevant. There's these wonderful parts of our body that give us pleasure. And we're quite unique in the animal kingdom that we get pleasure out of sex. I think dolphins and penguins, I think, are the only other animals that can or have sex for pleasure. Jane is going to check it up for me now. I think it's penguins. And are penguins, I know, the only other prostitutes in the animal.
Penguins stay with the same.
Yep.
They stay with the same partner for life.
Yeah, and the penguins are the only other animals that prostitute themselves. You do. Do you know that? Female penguins will have sex for fish. So I believe so. Yeah, but here's the thing. So we're gifted with these wonderful parts of our body that give us great excitement and enjoyment. And why not use it? I don't understand why somebody wouldn't want to.
I know, I do understand it as well sometimes, like, say, from, like, a woman's point of view. If they're, like, at home with kids and everything all day, like, you're, like, overtouched, you're, like, your sensory overload. And it's just, like, you just don't want to be touched, and it's, like, everyone get away from me.
Yeah, put that away. That's the last thing I want to see.
Yeah, I do understand that kind of an aspect as well, like, but then, like, then it all comes back down again to get the communication.
Mm.
You know, how is your partner meant to know that you feel like that unless you actually say it?
Would you stay in a marriage where one person, and I'm not saying can't have, because obviously people need to be more understanding if people have particular problems like erectile problems or if women have dryness problems or whatever it is. Would you stay in a marriage if somebody just didn't want to have sex?
No.
No, neither one of you would.
No.
Yeah, so that's a deal breaker for both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. Stay there because it's mainly females, actually. I'm surprised ringing in tonight. I thought the men would be ringing in their droves, but they're all terrified in case their wives hear them.
Why are we ringing in? We're obviously not getting it tonight.
Men are afraid to ring in. The lads will know me voice. If I go on the air and say my wife's not putting out. Siobhan, Siobhan, you're on Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing, Siobhan?
You need to start saying, Siobhan, you're on again. Hi, Niall.
Siobhan, you're on again. Are you in Little or Aldi now?
I'm not, but I was back up pumping my tyre up, and now I've got a massive leak under my sink, and I'm hours trying to fix it. I'm pulling my hair right here.
You're putting up tyres, going to Lidl and Aldi and fixing leaks in your sink. You're some woman. But
I'm just wondering why the leak is still under the sink.
It's a little seal that's broken. I'm after breaking it, trying to fix it. I'm raging with myself. But the good news is, Niall, I'm about to give up my second job, so things are on the up, thank God.
Why are you giving up your second job? Because you don't need the money anymore?
Because I got a new job and it pays me more, so
good.
I'm off.
I'm delighted to hear that. Now,
I'm so happy.
Now, Siobhan.
Thank you.
More important things in life than jobs. Sex.
Yes.
Most important.
That's not my new job, I just want to point out, just to make that absolutely clear.
Don't knock it till you try it, they say. Anyway, sorry, Siobhan. In relation to having sex within a marriage, do you believe it's important, or can a marriage survive if there's no sex?
I think it's so important, but it's not the sex, it's the intimacy and the closeness that comes with the sex, really. Mm-hmm. That's it for me. And, you know, like you were saying, sitting on the couch, rubbing your wife's feet, this is all part of it, isn't it? This kind of gets you in the mood or whatever. It just keeps you close to your partner. And I think it's very, very important. Not necessarily the physical act itself, although, you know, but yeah, I do think it's very important. I was in a relationship for 8 years with a lovely chap, and it just died a death. And I did try and speak. I can't believe I'm saying this on the radio, but I did. You know, I tried everything to try and find out what was wrong, but we just never recovered from that. And then once it goes on too long, I think you get into a place where you can't recover, where it becomes
a problem, and once it becomes an issue, it then becomes an issue, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes. Then you start feeling like friends, and it feels almost awkward and stuff like that. And then, of course, if you're the one being rejected, this comes with a whole load more problems for yourself. I don't look at myself like I'm gorgeous or I'm a pig. I don't look at myself either way. I get up in the morning, throw myself under the shower, and I make the best with what I've got. But this situation had me looking at myself and, you know, poking holes at myself almost, you know. God, what's wrong with me? Is it this? Is it that? Blah, 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 blah. And it's me.
Sorry.
It's a horrible place to be. It really is. You know, it really, really.
And that's what both Helena and Samaria are saying. Is it Samaria or Samaria? Sorry. Samaria. That's what both Helena and Samaria are saying, that, you know, if you're not getting it, or the other half is not into it, be it either way around, it does make you feel rejected, like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and I think if you get rejected then like a few times, like if you keep getting rejected, you just end up giving up and not even trying anymore.
Mm-hmm. And then that itself becomes a problem.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be rejected like that. It's a horrible feeling, you know. But I'm glad I called time on that relationship now, because I'd still be stuck in the same boat. And I think I'm still a young woman, you know. I'm only 43, but this was when I was like maybe 39. This all kind of kicked off, and he was a few years younger than me, so I don't think it was down to his levels of any hormone or anything.
He just lost interest.
I haven't gone off you, blah, blah, blah. But, actions speak loud, or the lack of actions were speaking louder than words, you know?
Sorry, Samaria, Helena, one of you wanted to say something there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just Siobhan there, when you were saying that he was younger than you, so would you have expected it more because he should have had the libido kind of going?
More get up and go, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a young man. He was in his prime. He was in his mid-30s. He was a young man. Now, he himself, he was putting it down to depression, you know.
Which can be the case.
That can affect, I do understand that, because that can affect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did have sympathy for him, but if he wasn't communicating with me and he wasn't willing to do anything about the depression, you know.
That's the thing. If you're not willing to help yourself, like. Yeah,
and he wasn't willing to do anything about his depression, Siobhan, or he wasn't willing to do anything about.
He wasn't willing to do anything about the depression. Yeah. He just kept telling me, it's not a problem with you. I still find you attractive, but how can you believe that when nothing's happening? Of course, you're not going to believe it, you know. And it was sad, really. It was really, really sad. And then it just fizzled out. And then once sex leaves a relationship, then it becomes just a friendship, you know. Now, I wouldn't have gone off anywhere else. I wouldn't have done that. More respect for myself.
If there was no sex there on that, and you're just saying that it developed into a friendship, were you happy with that?
No, I definitely wasn't, which is why I called. No. Now, if there had have been, I'm not talking about swinging from the chandeliers and jumping off wardrobes every night. If there had have been,
I am.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I don't know about jumping off the wardrobe. You could end up in the A&E with that one. But
come here, I have door swings and everything. Don't knock it.
What did you say, Helena? You have doors. Oh, who has the doors? Yeah. Who has the door swing?
Me, Samaria.
Oh my God, Niall, Jesus!
What? She has a door swing, Siobhan.
You have a door swing.
Look,
Are you not afraid the frame of the door will come off the wall?
I'm in the online industry, so I have a few things going on.
Oh, you're in the online industry. Oh, Samaria, I spoke to you before, didn't I?
You did.
I remember now. Okay, it's okay if I tell people, isn't it?
It is, of course.
Okay, so Samaria, hang on, Siobhan and Helena. Samaria not only is obviously enjoying her sex life, but Samaria is on OnlyFans, if I remember rightly.
Yes, I remember this lady.
Yes. So, and so, Samaria, when you're on OnlyFans, do you do the bits on the swing and everything on the OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose that's
yeah. Like we do it personally, like privately as well ourselves. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Helena, you're missing a trick here. Samaria's making a fortune having sex on OnlyFans.
I pulled a house down.
Do you block out your faces, or do you actually go all?
No, it's actually hell for leather. Like what's the point of blocking out your face? I have tattoos. Do you know?
Mm.
Yeah, okay.
It's very easily seen. Like you can easily spot tattoos.
Well, Helena, would you do that? Would you go on OnlyFans?
No.
No, so you wouldn't be an exhibitionist. Well, maybe no. That's that. I don't mean that insulting to Samaria, by the way. But I'm just saying.
I know that.
No, but you wouldn't be the type that would like to do it publicly.
Because I've put on a lot of weight in the last couple of years, so I wouldn't do it. But swingers, yeah, please.
But there's a lot of guys like a curvy girl. You know what I mean?
Very true.
They really do, yeah.
I did this idea. Can I just say this out loud? I'm going to say this out loud in case all the men of Ireland are jumping up and down saying, "No, say it." When you see, women, I suppose, on page 3. Well, they used to be on page 3 years ago, but in these magazines and glossy magazines, and they're all size 0 or whatever it is with the hourglass figures, and know from talking to my own male friends over the years, most blokes are not really into that. Most blokes like curvy women.
Yeah, they like
that is very true.
They do. They like something. They like something to hang on to.
Because I used to be a size 0. I'm a size 12 now, and I'm just like, no. And I don't like my body the way it is now.
Okay.
But that's why I wouldn't. But give me a fucking swingers. How yeah, no bother.
Yeah, then I wouldn't do swingers. You know, it's like everyone each their own. Now I have looked into it, like, you know, and like I looked on the sites and everything, but I don't know. It's just I don't know.
But you've
It's
had
not
a
for
look
me.
on the site.
Yeah, Siobhan is listening here. She thinks she's missing out on something here. Right? Siobhan, you're missing out on all this.
I think I might be a bit too vanilla for these two girls, to be honest with you. I listen to them talking. My sex life is sounding real boring now, but it's absolutely not. I, you know, it's pretty decent, shall I say, but I think give everything a try. Now, I can tell you that swinging wouldn't be for me because that just isn't for me, you know.
No.
But I think give everything a try. Variety is the spice of life. If it's you and the person that you care about, go for it and enjoy yourself. And, you know, keep it to yourself, even though I'm on the radio.
And you're not in a relationship at the moment, are you? No.
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay, that's only new, is it?
Yes.
You're not saying very much. You're keeping that one to your close to your.
I can tell you that.
Keeping it close to your chest. Pardon the pun.
I am pretty close to my chest, of course, because you know it's
that's fair enough.
Private.
No, absolutely, and I completely appreciate that, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But Samaria, let me just go back to the original question. Samaria, are you surprised to hear Robbie Williams saying that, you know, he doesn't really care that he's no libido anymore, that he's not interested in sex? Him and his wife, an attractive-looking young couple, you know, and they're only in their 40s, and they're just not having sex anymore. Does that sadden you or surprise you?
They're still young. They're still young. Like, it saddens me because, like, I want to be 70 still at it, like.
Yeah. Well, you'd like to think you would.
You know?
What are you going to do?
Well, like,
but what are you going to do when you hit menopause and the libido drops? I know you're not near it yet, probably, but you know what I mean.
Well, like, I don't know really, because like I'm not even going to think that far ahead.
It's a good bit away.
I'm just going to go with it.
All right, it's a good bit away. By the way, the fame that you've got from OnlyFans, has that drawn a lot of negative attention?
Not really, to be quite fair. Like, a lot of, like, it's been positive and negative, but if there is negative, I don't really hear it. I stick to myself.
Okay.
You know, myself and my family, and I kind of like, I don't even go out. I don't even go out to clubs. I don't even go drinking. Like, you know, I'm
okay.
I stick to myself. So I haven't really got any negativity. You get the odd comment here and there, and it's always from a man, to be quite honest. You know.
There's an interesting question here, and it's addressed to both Samaria and Helena. And it says, now, can you ask those two ladies, so I'm assuming it's both of you because you were on first, the two of you. I don't want to have sex anymore because I'm really uncomfortable with my own body shape. I won't even get naked in front of my husband. I know it upsets him, and I know it really upsets him. He's very depressed over it, but there's nothing I can do, and I feel so bad. Any advice?
Yeah.
Get 'em off.
Yeah.
What I'd say to that lady is, if he has so much respect for her, which I'm sure he does because he actually took the time to text in, leave the room while she's getting dressed. Turn the lights off when you're having sex.
Is that the answer? I don't know if that's the answer.
Though. It's not all that easy. It's like, I think what she needs to do, it's a positive mind frame. That's what she needs. She needs, like, even if, like, it's just a case of going for a walk a day, listening to music, just to get into that positive mind, not even to, like, lose weight or anything. It's just all about your mind. Like, even get, like, these little, I have them around my house, they're little mirror stickers. So in the mornings, like, when you're waking up and you're brushing your teeth and you feel like absolute shit, really. And, like, the mirror is literally telling you, you look amazing.
Okay.
But it's not that, like,
you know, it's small little things.
If she's not comfortable with him being there,
she's not comfortable with herself, isn't it?
She's not comfortable with herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about her. Like,
have the respect to go out.
But that's not addressing.
Which I think
that's not addressing the situation. The situation clearly, and I'm not having a go at her. It's her problem to deal with, not his. He's excited by her and wants to be with her, and obviously wants to see her naked. So she needs to be focused on herself and be proud of her own body.
Exactly.
but
It is
people
all
are
about
trying to do
mind.
Mm. Yeah, well, hang on for a second, because I want to go to Oisin as well. Oisin, you're in Ireland's Classic Hits Radio. How you doing? Nice to get a man in. Thank you, Oisin.
Oh, well, there you go. I just
Fly the
thought
flag. Yeah.
Yeah, within reason. No, I'll be honest with you. Speaking as a man, I've had a couple of issues now with, erectile dysfunction and whatnot.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, it doesn't stop you having intimacy whatsoever. But when you have issues like that, now most of
it can be that can affect your confidence, I suppose.
It can really make you kind of pull away because you don't know if you can.
Can you speak to your partner about it?
Oh no, I'm single now.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think that was why, but yeah.
No.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, I know. Look, I mean, speaking for a guy, when you're in your teens and you're getting older, it's never an issue. But then when you reach a certain point, sometimes it can, sometimes it can't become an issue due to stress, work, health, and everything else. And there's nothing worse than being a guy and you can't rise to the occasion. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Now, not all the time, genuinely, but there's nothing worse.
Here's the thing, and I've spoke about this before. When we talk about pornography having a negative influence on young people and these expectations that young people might have or young boys have of women after looking at pornography, we have equal problems when it comes to men when it comes to pornography, because if women were to believe everything that we see in pornography, men can stay, erect for 2 hours and, and probably an orgasm 5 times, which is really not possible for most men.
It's all a load of bullshit.
Absolutely. But there is a huge. See, for women, and I'm going to say men have it tougher when it comes to sex, because for women, even if it's not working too well, right? They can still just lie there and it's okay. Bit of lubricant, everything is fine, right?
Yeah.
But for men, as Oisin uses the term, they have to rise to the occasion. So there is an expectation and a performance level expected of men.
As much help.
Sorry, go ahead,
Even with erectile dysfunction, as he said there are other ways. Like, there's still foreplay. There's still, like, a man can make a woman feel wanted. Like, even, like, come home with a bunch of flowers. Like, there's other ways when that does happen, just to be like, look, I know this is going on right now, but I still love you. I'm still here. Like, even a kiss, even an old slap in the arse as you're walking by. Like,
back to the slap in the arse again.
Things like
slapping in the arse has come up quite a lot tonight. Can I just point out?
It does, actually has, yeah. No, but I mean, genuinely. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, Oisin, and like, have you taken the little blue pill to do this?
Oh no, I have. No, I'll be very honest. I have, and they do help.
Yeah.
They do help. I think
does that affect your confidence that you need to do that, or?
It can, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Let's say 50-50. And I'm not speaking for all men.
And it's affecting confidence, and probably you're not getting.
It does, yeah. You're kind of reliant on a little bit. It's not down to the woman. Don't get me wrong, but you're reliant on that extra little bit of help to help you where you didn't need the help before.
And you know what? I think, we talk about women's issues on the radio quite a lot, between, different things about checking your breasts and, we talk about menopause. I've done whole shows here where we've doctors on talking about menopause. But the one thing we tend not to talk about is men's problems. We don't talk about erectile dysfunction, and it's a huge problem for a lot of men.
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.